All right. And we're back. To everybody watching the stream, to everybody who's going to watch this later when it is just a regular video on my channel, welcome back to another episode of Binge or Cringe. And today I feel like this will be a somewhat different and special and unique episode for the simple fact that we're going to talk about anime that people talk about but no one really talks about, and we're going to talk about in a simple way as of these anime have not been finished or come to a certain conclusion where I think, or the rest of my panel may believe, they should have ended. And it's slightly disappointing. But before we get into that, introduce my panel for today. We have the boy Jiraiya Nah. Right.
How's it going?
All right.
My camera's acting crazy now. There we go.
Oh, there we are. And then we have the grandpa of anime, Cobalt70.
What up?
Then we have the legendary dual-wielding person of interest, Noel. Wait, I forgot. Dang, I always mess up your name, bro. I just say Noel, so it's like... Yeah, give him your full name one time for me.
Nullified Saint.
Nullified Saint, thank you. Why do I just call you Noel, so it always messes me up. And then we have Risky Sama.
Hello.
All right. So, as I said, today we're going to be talking about anime that we believe should have gotten a second season or a continuation, and then something even more from that. Like, because the mangas, for the most part, are manga, whatever, however you choose to say it or however it is actually pronounced. They continue on for, a certain amount of time, even past what the anime's original run was. So I feel like some of these just deserve a continuation, and I hope and I believe my panel can agree. Anything to say before we get started, boys?
Yeah, really we're just covering animes that didn't get that second season or that finished out arc that they needed. We're focusing mainly on ones that didn't get a second season.
And ones that truly deserved it as well.
Absolutely, every one of them.
So let's get to it. What we're going to do is we're going to go around. We're going to name our three. Why, and we're going to just, and then as a panel we're going to talk about them after we name all our three, talk about all of them. If you feel like you want to interject, feel free to do so. Do not cross the line though. And also at the end, I believe we should do what we used to do, take it back a little bit, choose the top 5. All right, so who would like to go first? Don't all jump out your seats.
I
think Noel should go first.
Noel should go first? Why are you just going to throw him under the bus like that?
Because Noel said he wanted to go first.
Yeah, I remember him saying that, dude.
I definitely thought.
But
wow.
Anyway. Yeah, let's just go ahead and just drop it off, dude. I'm just gonna go ahead and start off with the To the Abandoned Sacred Beast. The way the anime was, I really didn't think of it too much, until I actually started watching it, and then just noticing how all the people got treated in that certain type of kind of like an Attack on Titan kind of theme for me.
Right.
The Attack on Titan powers and shit. The power still got to me, and just hearing people's backstory, just seeing what they went through and how the story affected them. That just got me interested in it. Are we just doing one, or are we doing all three?
No, go ahead and do it, your 3.
Okay. The second one would be them all. It's gonna be Akame ga Kill.
Okay.
And in my personal opinion, I feel like there could be more. Whether or not if it did did seem like it would end, which I can fairly say guaranteed as well. But I could definitely see a second season coming out of it, whether if it does or not.
I definitely wasn't expecting them to just like kill off the main character. Like, I know spoiler, but I mean, it's been out for like 5 years.
Yeah, if
now.
you didn't catch it by now, you're not up to par for anime, in my opinion, because it's one that you should have caught.
I mean, usually if you're gonna if one of the characters is gonna hold on to something of the main character and be like, hey, maybe I can make something happen. You know it's there. You know they have a chance of making it happen. But
I mean, you have all those relics in play that they don't even mention throughout the whole story. You know?
Yeah, well, it was a total of 107.
Yeah, dude, it was a crazy amount. Like, and you never know. One of those might have something to bring them back. You never know.
Well, that's exactly how they end it. They open up this huge world and then they never go there. You know, so it's like they have a whole world that they could go and explore with that set of characters and those sets of abilities, the relics themselves, the different governments that were mentioned, but they never even went to those places. You know. So there's a lot that they could do with that. That's why I liked it as a choice too. So
and the third
I wanted more too. No, I wanted more too.
Oh yeah, but the third one would be the Twin Star Exorcist.
Now that one I can definitely agree on. Not that I didn't agree on the other two. I did agree on the other two, but that one I feel like there's a lot more information. We don't know what's going to happen. They technically didn't defeat all the Kagare and whatever. Like, there's a lot more they can expand on for that.
That's what could be happening more, is because they left 2 or 3 powerful Kagare that it took, the Twin Star Exorcists to be together to fight, which, I mean, that's what they're supposed to be doing, but they're supposed to still have a child that was supposed to take care of all Kagare.
Yeah.
Yeah, they tell us about a future story that they never actually delve into. We don't get I want to see the epic of the child.
Yeah,
I want to see how great that kid's going to be.
Right? Because they build up the whole series behind that, and then at the end they're like, "Okay, that's all you get."
Because when you think about it,
I want to see the little kid.
Because when you think about it, both the main characters separately are really strong. Together, they're when they hold when they hold hands or something, they boost their powers exponentially. So you can only imagine what their child is going to be like.
Mm-hmm.
And it's not just that. The Twin Star prophecy isn't even about them. It's about their child. So it's like, we want to see the story of the child.
Oh,
there's a story there that needs to be told.
That child going to be dope.
But there's my 3, It's just, it's I'm pretty sure there's more out there that I could think of. It's just those 3 I've recently.
That was a solid 3, though, bro. That really was.
Yeah. Absolutely.
All right.
I took some time.
Yeah, you definitely did. I appreciate those 3, man. All right, who's next?
I can do mine.
All right, go ahead, Risky.
All right. So my first one, I'm a little up in the air about it still, but it is Sinbad Boken. You guys have seen that?
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
And it's, dude, there's just so much that can be done to that anime. Like, and it was one of those animes that they literally created it because a main character was so badass in a whole separate anime. Like, they gave the man his own anime. That's all I'm saying. Like, how badass are you if they do that?
Well, they had to. Sinbad's already kind of a well-known character,
Mm-hmm.
and so they had to make him badass in the first season. And then they saw the opportunity with him because there's already so much classical literature about Sinbad that they can pull from.
Right.
Yeah.
So yeah, definitely a good choice that I foresee them eventually doing again.
Yeah, I foresee them they're going to continue that.
Yeah, but it's been a while though, to be honest.
It has.
Hey, man, Stein's. I'm gonna bring every time. I'm gonna bring up Stein Gate's 8 years hiatus, dude.
When you think about it, even with the original series with Magi, they never finished it.
Yeah. Magi was solid too, though.
Wasn't it Arslan that kicked off those series, though? That whole Persian kickoff for anime series started with Arslan.
I think so, yeah.
It might have been.
All right,
Well, the funny thing with
others?
that particular anime, like I actually seen the like I had never heard of it. Like I remember going into like Books a Million and finding the manga for it before even like realizing what it was, and I was like, oh, this looks cool. So then I went home and then I was like, looked up to see if the anime was out for it or not, or how far they were in it, and then I ended up watching it.
Yeah, it's a good one.
It was kind of underrated, but it was really good.
Yeah.
All right.
So my second one's gonna have to be, I believe it's pronounced Yona of the Dawn.
Such
You
a
guys seen that
well-written
one?
story. Yeah, it's definitely well written.
Like, I just loved how that whole anime was coming together, and then it just stops when it's about to get good, and
That's
it's like,
true.
no, what are you doing?
Yeah.
It's
She
crazy.
finally reaches her destination. Shit's about to go down, and it's the end of the season. You're like, come on, just give us more.
It's basically like one of the biggest slaps in the face in anime.
Ooh.
Yeah. And my third is probably the one that I wish they would do it, but I don't think it's gonna happen because I heard the studio actually went like bankrupt or something. Is Gangsta. Dude, Gangsta was that freaking anime, dude. It is wonderful.
Yeah,
It was so different too, you know. I love that anime.
It was like super. It was like a super grungy anime, but with like upgraded artwork.
I mean,
like with brighter artwork, I should say.
I mean, if somebody ends up picking it up, another studio, that would be dope.
Oh, it absolutely would, dude. It was a wonderful anime. It really was. But those are my three. I thought they were pretty good. I need them.
I'm sorry.
Yeah, no, all good choices.
I was laughing about it.
All right, Kobo.
All right, I guess I'll roll my three. My first one is kind of a guilty pleasure. I love comedy, like comedy spin-off type animes and stuff, and I loved Blood Lad when it came out. So Blood Lad's was automatically one of my first choices.
But Blood Lad's so good though, and even if though it's kind of comedy-esque, it has like that fighting aspect of it that you love too. So
well, it's not just that they didn't close out the arc that they started, and it was like it was one of the few animes where I wanted to see how it would end up, and they chop you. So definitely a good comedy.
Take it away from me.
Right? Interesting concept too, where the main character's a ghost. Trying to get her real body back. Yeah. And then the next one, let's see, what did I pick for my next one? Demon King Daimo. Oh, that was the one where a kid raised in the church goes to school and finds out he's going to be the next Demon King or next Demon Lord. And he doesn't want to be that, and this dude's full church going dude.
Yeah, I remember.
And so he's constantly fighting against it, even though the situations just make him more and more powerful, and he fits the role more and more each time. I definitely wanted to see him become the Demon Lord, but it only got the one season.
Mm-hmm.
And my final, like, it closed out on a mini arc, but there's tons more arcs that they could do, and it's called The Devil is a Part-Timer, and it's hilarious. It's one of my favorite animes.
It's a good one.
I really like that one. They definitely could have continued that one. It was good, man. It is nowhere near finished.
Don't mean to interrupt, but are we doing honorable mentions after, or are we doing it during?
After.
Bet. I heard you say honorable. My bad.
Let's do them all after. Everyone goes through their list. Don't worry, I've got one too.
Yeah, and only one.
But I've been limited to only one because Tone will kill me if I go any harder.
I will kick you. I will physically kick you.
I've been pre-warned this episode, guys. I've been muzzled.
Uriah, you want to go or you want me to go?
I'll go. So for the first one, I'm going to go with Anohana, the flower we saw that day, which I'm pretty sure all of you are familiar with. The reason I went with that one as my first one is because that anime did a really good job at getting you invested with the characters and kind of like seeing how disconnected they were and what it really meant to kind of bring them back. And then it kind of just ended with them finally getting that connection, but it never really showed you like what happened afterwards. You know, like it didn't show you how well their lives went on. It would have been, in my opinion, would have been nice to see them kind of grow up a little bit more, just seeing how they connected afterwards. If,
how those subplots completed.
Yeah, it would just been nice seeing that investment go a little bit further, because like even though it was short, but it did a really good job at getting you connected with the characters, like really feeling it.
Right.
Yeah, I had to go punch a tree after I watched that anime. I cried so hard. No shame, dude.
What was it?
Anohana.
Anohana.
Yeah, the way it ended, man, I was like, man, this is some bull.
So, if you haven't seen it, it's basically this. The main character, he starts seeing like one of his childhood like friends. He sees like a spirit of her, which some people like can take it as like it was all in his head, or some people actually do like think it's a ghost or whatever. But it's him trying to come to terms with himself and reconnecting with all of his other childhood friends, because they had like a small little like group, and they all just kind of separated. They had a traumatic event happen that caused them all to separate.
Risky talked to me about it one time, and I never gave it a chance. But I think
if you want something to hit you in the feels, definitely watch it.
Yeah. And it's a short watch too.
Oh yeah, I think it's like 11 episodes.
Yeah.
The second one is High School of the Dead.
Classic.
Yeah, we all wanted that on the list. We all wanted that on our list.
How many times I watched it. And then the funny thing with that is, I like the way they ended it. You were just like, you know, what's going to happen? Like, where is it going from here? Nothing. You didn't hear anything from it. And the only thing I found out extra from it, another story about Books A Million. I remember they had like the omnibuses, like the very large books, like with the entire collection. Mm-hmm. They made a second one, which is supposed to be all of season 2, and they still haven't came out with it. Like the book is out, the anime is not out.
It's not like it wasn't too popular, you know. Everyone loved it. It won a bunch of awards. Yep. Why has it not gotten its second season?
Yeah, I don't know.
Look here. Look, you want to know why? Adults at that time banned it. They were like, "Hey, you see, you got boobies flowing, you got underwear showing, you got nipples going hard. You know, you got girls, you got the girls in his harem grabbing his." Oh wait, let me stop.
All the fans service.
You know, that's what they get for closing down all the hentai studios and sending them to normal studios. You know?
That is true.
No, please keep going.
So someone's like, can we merge these two and get away with it? And someone's like, hold my beer. Hold my sake.
Right?
They made it happen. So the third one, which I don't know if you guys are familiar with, Grimgar of Fantasy and Ash.
I've heard of that one.
Randomly stumbled upon it on it was on the Funimation app actually, but I was just kind of like looking for something to watch, because at the time all the animes that I was watching, like I was caught up on, so I didn't really have anything to watch, and I found it, and it's kind of like that that story that a lot of other animes do. It's like a bunch of kids get teleported to a fantasy world, but what happens in the intro is it's a pretty large group of kids. Like you have younger kids and like more like teenager or late teens. They separate. The late teens are like, hey, we don't want to deal with these kids. Like it's gonna be too much. They went on their own and just left these like kids by themselves. Well, one of the kids out of the group, who was a little bit more mature than the others, decided to kind of become the leader of the group. And they end up finding a small town and meeting like the mayor of it, who kind of understood I didn't really understand what was going on with them, but he kind of felt bad for them because they were like abandoned. So he gave them money, and they all proceeded to split that money and go join different like guilds or not guilds, but like class places. Like some of them became rogues, some became mages, and so forth. But it's their journey, like becoming someone. Like it's just them fighting like goblins and all kinds of monsters and stuff. But it gets like towards the last few episodes, which I want to say it was 12 episodes long. Towards the last few episodes, like you kind of start to see a lot of their growth pay off and some of the skills that they can perform. And their daily lives aren't so tough, because you see a lot of most of the anime, it's like them struggling, trying to survive because they've been abandoned and stuff. But you start to see that pay off, and some tragic events happen right towards the end. And one character kind of takes it upon himself to stand above the rest and take over the group or whatever. But they don't tell you what happens after that. They just leave it. There's so much stuff that can happen with it. And the art style too was like amazing. It's kind of like I haven't seen an anime in a while that kind of used the art style that they used for it. So it was just nice to look at, honestly. Even if you weren't a fan of like the genre, like just looking at it was nice. The animations were nice. The art style was nice. So it would just have been nice to keep them, see them keep it going. But
to add to that, Grimgar was probably okay. You have a lot of animes of kids ending up in another world.
Yeah,
and in everyone, their growth into the superheroes of that world is always super short, maybe an episode, and then it goes on to the arc. This one is the most real in its attempt to show what it really would be like. These kids end up there and see them grow up. And it's just one of the realest animes I've seen in years. I agree. I'm glad you actually picked that and brought that up, because I completely forgot about that anime.
Yeah, I don't know many people that have heard it. I actually forgot about it for a while, and then when we talked about doing this podcast, I was like, I got to think of a good one. And all of a sudden, it kind of hit me. I was like, "Oh yeah, I definitely got to bring that one up." I'm
glad you didn't spill the spoiler on that one too.
Oh no, I want to leave it for you guys. Definitely watch it. And when you see this, when you hear that part, you're gonna come back to me like, "Damn it!"
What anime is this?
It's called Grimgar, Ashes and Illusions.
All right. I thought those good choices for sure. Especially Grimgar. I never actually heard of that, and that got me intrigued to watch it. Probably going.
So you probably watched it.
You sure?
Probably watched it. I think you're gonna look at it and then you're like, oh my god, I remember that. And then you're gonna want to punch me and punch him. All right.
All right. I'll look it up just to be sure. Excuse me. My turn. First things first. Armed girls Machiavellism.
Armed girl Machiavellism.
Yeah, Machiavellism. For those of you who don't know, it's a newer one. It's not too newer, but it's new enough. I think it came out like a year and a half ago, around that area sometime. It's basically where this transfer. It's a school. It's originally an all girls school that in the recent years incorporated male students, and because the male students who were sent there were a lot of troublemakers and like delinquents and stuff, the student body was eventually allowed to hold weapons in order to defend themselves, and in the hierarchy of that system, there are 5 girls who are allowed to wield actual swords and chastise and discipline the incoming new male students as they came in, Which once they did that, most of the male students incorporated themselves into becoming, for lack of a better word, transsexual. They started dressing as women, wearing makeup, long hair, yada yada yada. Yeah.
You would.
What was that?
He wanted he was tired of the normal harem anime. You know, he wanted to branch out.
Shut up!
Yeah,
shut up.
I see that.
First of all,
chicks with dicks. You know what's up?
Wow, you guys are horrible. Anyway, when the main character shows up, he's the newest delinquent, and then the 5 swords are informed of his transfer. And apparently, he's one of the greatest. He's one of the most baddest delinquents they've had in a long time. So he shows up, and then one of the girls, one of the 5 swords, decides to correct him. He's really not one to really start a fight. He's more like one to like have his freedom, or whatever. But because of that, he always ends up in a fight because of people always like, you know, when you're about being laid back and you want to have your freedom and all that type of stuff. People always want to antagonize you for your way of thinking or your different approach. You know, when you're like people, you ever just had that one person who wants to mess with you because you're a laid back person and they want to see your reaction?
That's like you're describing our relationship, Tone. I'm uncomfortable about it.
Well, you talking about me and my laid back relationship?
I was laid back, and so I always have to torment him.
Regardless. That's what happens. So the girl starts correcting him, but when she pushes too much, he starts showing his fangs. They end up fighting. He wins. Blah blah blah, and the cycle continues with the rest of the 5 swords. And it's just a good show. And then they all end up like falling for him or accepting him in one way or another.
Like every good harem.
Yeah, but the thing is, it doesn't finish because there's so much more they can add on, and the actual story does continue if you ever read the manga. So it's like they could have finished it, they could have continued it. They never added another season. My next one is Gate. Technically kind of finished, but didn't finish because when you think about it, they got to a point where they could do a cutoff, but the next arc is the actual civil war. Where the princess and the prince are supposed to be going to war over the country. And if you haven't seen Gate, I would recommend you see it. It's like where world meets world through an interdimensional gate / portal type thing. Japan crosses over to this new world after being attacked by that world and blah blah blah. It's really good. It has a lot of magic and everything. It's another harem kind of one, but at the same time there's a lot of action and a lot of military stuff, so it's really good. Then my final one, I don't know if anybody remember this besides Kobo. Tenjo Tenji.
The OG harem before harem was a thing.
Man, I don't even like it was harem, but it wasn't harem. But it was good. Like Tenjo Tenji, like its fighting was ridiculous. It was such a good. It was a lot of different martial arts abilities and stuff like that. And like it started off with the main character just being some random common thug / delinquent. Then he realizes he has more power than he thought because of his family background and stuff like that. It gets really good, but it never finishes out. And there's a lot of information that was in the first season that could have continued to progress the story, and they never finished it. And they never had the final confrontation between the main character and the main antagonist, and it's something that could have just continued.
They tried to fill in the blanks with a bunch of OAVs or OVAs, but it just didn't. Like, you can't do that. Just give us another season. Don't try and tease us with OVAs and shit like that.
Right. I feel like Jiraiya is looking up Tenjo Tenji right now.
I mean, he did pick High School to death. I feel like it's
no, he would enjoy
not
Tenjo.
A far leap.
He would enjoy Tenjo Tenji, man. I think he would if he'd ever seen it.
Have you guys this one technically is ongoing right now, but have you guys heard of I think it's Standing on a Million Bodies or a Million Lives or something like that?
Yes.
Yep.
I started that. That was pretty good.
It's
so
really good.
Yeah, I've been watching that one too.
All right. So before we move on and do top 5, between the 5 of us, any honorable mentions? Only one.
We created honorable mentions specifically for Dead Man Wonderland.
That's true. That is true.
It's an anime that had a fantastic start. It has a finish. It's a great finish. They need to finish that shit out.
Yeah, man. Because technically, Ganta or whatever his name was, he finally got the power of. He finally learned how to develop and control his powers, and now now the rest of, and like they did a prison break or whatever, but like they didn't go from there. And I'm like, come on, y'all. And then he doesn't even. And then through it, you kind of find out that his best friend was the reason it all started.
Well, that and you find out a little bit about the relationship that he didn't even remember he had with her.
Mm-hmm.
You know, which adds a bunch more questions that they don't ever answer. It would answer if they got a second season. They could close out the story, and you would answer all these loose ends that you set up in the first season. But
right, there's a bunch of loose ends they never tied.
Crazy start. That was a crazy start for an anime too. Woo.
Anyone else got another honorable? No?
I got one that I wouldn't mind just so I have answers.
All right, hit us with it, Risky.
Cowboy Bebop.
That is a good one.
Yeah.
I just want to know what happens, man. They can even make a whole other season about them like searching for him because like they're stubborn enough assholes that they probably know he's fucking out there. He's out there somewhere. We're gonna get him.
Yeah, that's true.
Well, we're gonna find him. But yeah, Cowboy Bebop for sure.
What about you, Noel?
Mm,
If you don't, no pressure.
I really don't think I have one. I mean, it might have to be a future reference.
Okay.
I don't have nothing.
All right, Jiraiya.
I'm gonna have to go with Eden of the East.
Which one?
Oh, all right.
Eden of the East.
Ooh.
I want to say it came out back in 2009.
Yeah, it's an older one.
Although technically, like they did one season of it, and then they did 2 films, I believe. The films didn't really give you much information pertaining to, in my opinion,
the first one a retelling of the whole season anyway?
For the most part, yeah. And then, like towards the end of it, it kind of gave you a little bit more information to the overall like premise of the series. But there was so many holes in that anime. It was like, what was going on? Like, you had all these characters that had these cell phones that they had tons of $10 billion that they had to use to like do something grand with. And I don't know, there was just a lot that they could have done. There's a lot left empty, and it was still good, even though like there was so much missing.
I guess I got an honorable mention.
What do you got?
In Another World with My Smartphone.
Okay. I like that choice.
Yeah, like it's been a minute since,
It's a good one.
Yeah, it's been a minute
Well,
since that one's been out.
we never see him get home though, and so it's like, yeah, absolutely a good choice.
Like we never see him. We never see him finish it out. We don't know what happens between him and the princess. We don't know what happens with that random dude he meets. We don't know. And then apparently, like, what in that world he's supposed to end up with 12 wives or whatever, but we only meet 4 of them.
I forgot about that part.
There's like a lot that goes on that's not finished, not told. It's just a lot of information that was left out.
Never heard of it, but the name kind of reminds me of that time I got reincarnated as a slime.
See, but here's the thing: we live in the era of isekais.
Yeah.
Where we live in a harem. I'm not harem. Live in a world where anime.
You live in a harem. You live in a harem.
I mean, I mean, I ain't a big teddy bear for nothing. It's like, no, but no. Yo, no, look at that. No.
Perfect. That was perfect.
But yeah, no, we're in a state of anime where there's a lot of isekais going on, like otherworld anime or like reincarnation anime, blah blah blah. Which they're doing great. They're a big hit.
Oh, yeah.
I haven't.
Yeah,
really
they got this new spider one that's awesome.
Yeah, it's funny. It's good.
Which the thing about the spider one, I'm like, can she get to the surface already? Like,
Yeah, right.
look at this.
Just kill everything I already got.
And
Just to drive you guys even more crazy, I've been reading the manga on that one, and yeah, no, she still hasn't made it to the surface.
Are you serious?
I knew you were going to say
Don't tell me
that.
that.
She's still in the fucking cave. It's like Game of Thrones in here.
But the thing is, if you watch the anime recently, you kind of get a glimpse of what she's going to end up becoming.
Yeah.
Because like that spider was similar. That spider that we saw the heroes fight is similar looking to her. So we kind of got an idea of what she's going to evolve into. But
well, they do also see like that there's something else in there, so they'll eventually see her. You know?
Yeah.
Well, yeah. The what's her name? The lolly like blonde character that's like.
Yep,
super
she
strong.
knows of them.
She knows.
of
Yeah.
them. Yeah, she knows what's up.
Well, yeah, she's conniving, and she's supposed
Well, I
to be.
think she has a connection to all of them. Like, 'cause she knows where all the reincarnations are. Like,
No, she
Yep,
does.
and
And
I'm
that's
not
the
going to
best.
say nothing because the manga tells a little bit more on that.
Shut up, Como. Shut up. Shut up. But no, I can't wait for that. And then, like, all right, when we get to the other reincarnated classmates of hers, the guy who thought he was big and bad because he was the first prince or whatever, and the other guy who like was his other classmate is like the third prince, but he outdoes him. It's like he like that whole situation. He's getting so pissed. He's gonna try and kill him. I can tell. Messed up as it is.
I'm not saying nothing.
Yeah, I know you better not. But yeah, so that's
If that one don't get a second season, we're all flying Japan. We fighting.
yeah, no, that one should definitely get a second season. I need to know how that ends. Okay, and look, I just believe that all isekais right now should get a second season, or at least get finished out.
they're messing
Or
with us
hair.
hard.
Or harem animes too, apparently.
I didn't say that.
You were thinking it. You were thinking it.
No, I wasn't.
We live in harems. What are you talking about?
You didn't need to see it.
Whatever.
Can I throw one in there?
Go ahead, no.
Yeah.
Whether if it finished or not, I don't care what anybody thinks. They need in the second season of Kishi no Calvary.
Kishino Calvary?
Ah.
I enjoyed that.
Which one is
I
that
enjoyed
one?
that. It's when there's a young student. He goes to a school. Well, actually, my bad. I mean to start off. A young princess, and they're going to a school, and she wants to prove her strength, and she feels like she can't get any stronger or fight anybody stronger. And she ends up going to this school that is for the gifted, for all these people with specific like holder type weapons. They could just spawn it whenever they want, and but they would need permission to use it at the school or outside of the school. But basically, she ends up getting enrolled to the school, and she basically thinks she's the shit. She thinks she's noble and all this shit, and royalty. And she ends up coming to this room, and then her roommate, which is a talentless guy. She thinks he's weak, and we're not going to talk about how they.
Oh wait, I know you're talking. Yes, never mind. And I know what you're talking about. I know. I've seen it. Yeah, I have. That does need.
I think that one needs a second season. I really like it.
His name is. He has a sword. That guy. He's the main character, right? And like he's like F ranked or something. You're talking about the same one, right?
He killed him.
He's done.
There you go. What?
You butchered his honorable mention.
And, oh.
He's like, I'm out.
And he's back. You got disconnected there, buddy.
I did get disconnected there.
Disconnect on your own time, bro.
Right. I think that gets a second. I think that needs a second.
It definitely does. All right, so I think we come to a good spot. There's a lot more we could name. Definitely, like I can name another 3 more off the top of my head. But like I said, one for each of us.
I think I listed like 20 in the chat beforehand.
Yeah, you did. Definitely did. All right, so let's go over. Let's all choose one. That's for our top 5, and let's come to a consensus. All right, which one? So out of the ones we talk about, all right. Let's just go down the line. Jirai, which one would you pick for the top 5 out of your 3?
High School to Dead.
Yeah, definitely. I agree upon that. I agree with that one. Do you guys have it?
Yeah, oh yeah. Oh fuck yeah.
Risky?
I'll take it.
Risky always got to be that one who's like, okay. He can never just say, yeah, cool, I got you.
Well, you said it's so like we're picking High School of the Dead. You said that, right?
Yeah, that's what he said.
Yeah, movies, dude. Come on now.
He said movies.
Come on now.
All right. Oh man, Kobo.
Me?
Yeah.
What were my 3? Blood Lad. What's the other 2? Devil's a part-timer, and what was the third one? Okay.
Daima.
I know. Devil was a part-timer, 100%.
Okay.
I can get beyond that.
Yeah. I can get behind that for sure. I definitely want to see how that continues. I want to know what happens between him and the hero. Risky?
What, out of mine?
Yeah.
Ooh. Why is it hard to pick? I'm sorry.
I don't know. You tell me.
I don't know. It's so hard to pick. I kind of forgot which ones I picked now.
I had the same problem.
Yeah.
Then we come
Dude,
back.
I totally. Oh, mine's got to be Sinbad. My bad.
Okay. All right. So
They need to finish him out, dude.
Yeah, they do. You're right. It left me on the edge. I'm like, finish this. What are y'all doing? All right. So we got right now. So far, we have Devil's a Part-Timer, High School of the Dead, and Sinbad. Oh,
Making me do this.
what?
Oh, you're making me do this.
Yeah, I am making you do it.
With the option of 2 of these seasons that I spoke of being, most people could say that they are finished, I would have to go with to the Abandoned Sacred. I actually want to see what he does with the rest of his group, his friends that were in the army, but I would want to say the other 2. There might not be my second season might come, so we ain't gonna talk.
Yeah, no, that's a good one. I could get behind it, especially since like in the end of the first season, my man reached some type of Ultra Instinct form or something. I don't know.
Well,
By
I
the way,
see what happens with the enemies that got away. Like, is it gonna finish? Like, is he take care of the rest of the squad that he left?
No, he gonna kill them all.
He gonna kill them all, but I want to see.
He gonna kill them all.
I couldn't remember. By the way, I couldn't remember the name of the one that you had actually picked as your honorable mention. So I looked it up. It's Chivalry of a Failed Knight.
Yeah,
Chivalry
that's
of a Failed Knight.
English
that's the
name.
name of
English
it.
version. That's the English name.
Yeah, that's the English name.
Yeah. And that was a great choice. Great choice.
I mean,
Like, I think-
as far as I know, it's finished. But
No, it's
Our
not
honorable
finished.
mentions are legendary.
It's not finished.
not.
They didn't do the tournament arc, like the actual high schools versus high school part. They didn't do that part.
oh, you're right. Oh, man, I
Not
could
done.
use that. What? Just keep going.
Speaking of which, Tone, you didn't pick Asterisk War. I'm shocked.
Here's the thing. I love Asterisk War, and I want it to be continued, but it's like it's one of those like if they didn't continue it by now after it, and it had 2 seasons because the first season continued like what a couple months after the first season. Second season continued.
Yeah, the first season went the traditional method of 24 episodes or whatever, 25 episodes. So.
Like so,
old school method. Bebop did the same thing.
Yeah, so
that's the template it was back in 2000.
But Asterisk War was so good, but you don't know. But the thing is, you don't know what happened. You don't get down to the nitty gritty for that. You don't know what happens between him. You don't know what happened between him, his sister, and the other dude. We know that the dude released his sister to him, but she's still unconscious in a coma, which means that he's keeping her that way. It's a whole mess. And like, and then we never found out. And then we never found out why his sister locked his powers away. There's so much we don't know.
There was a lot of questions left unanswered with that one, and I really wanted to see where it went.
Mm-hmm. And don't get me wrong, he's slowly unlocking his own powers, but you know. And then he's like one of the most powerful beings in that universe. It's just that all his powers he's just basically like there's just layers of locks on him.
Yeah. Reminds me of the regular at Magic High School with the way that he's supposed to be the underdog, but ends up being super badass, you know. All right, what's yours?
My five? My top 5 choice would have to be...
What's your pick?
Tenji. I gotta know what happens.
Okay.
I gotta see what happens in anime, man. Gotta see how they would play. And I know at this point it probably would never happen because of how long ago this anime started. But I gotta know, man.
Yeah, you're talking 2007, 2008.
Yeah, man.
That went way back.
And it was just like so cool, the music and everything for it, and it was like real urban. I just had to know. I just got to know.
Yeah.
All right. So we got our top 5.
Yes.
Yeah. All right. So let's.
All right, we're gonna replace all 5 of those with Dead Man Wonderland. But let's go.
We're gonna.
No, can't do it like that.
No.
All right.
No. All right. So in this order, we have High School of the Dead. We got Devil is a Part-Timer. Riskies was crap.
Sinbad.
Knowles was crap. I forgot what was your.
To the Abandoned Sacred Beast.
Yes, To the Abandoned Secret Beast. I love that one, but I never remember the goddamn. And then mine's was Tenji, which I think like is it's a broad range of different types of anime, but anime that definitely should have continued or at least got a continuation. We can see more of it. See more of those. That's just my personal.
Right. I agree. Those are all animes that not just deserve that, they would get a lot of views. Like, I think in terms of a series that were successful, everyone we named was hugely successful at the time they came out. It's inconceivable that they wouldn't have gotten a second season.
Especially High School of the Dead, man. All these horny little anime watchers right now, they would enjoy that.
Okay, Harem Lord. Okay.
I mean, you named more harem anime than I did, so.
That is categorically false, sir.
That is not. You put a whole list that had a bunch of anime that were harem-esque in the chat. So technically,
well, look, listen. For a decade, you could throw a rock and you would be guaranteed to hit at least one of those harem animes. All right.
I mean,
he makes a good point.
Yeah. His point is valid, which proves my point even more.
No, the point it proves is that you and people who create anime have a lot in like. You know.
I'm not saying I
You
don't
want
watch
a
them.
lot of women rubbing up on you and stuff. That's what's going on here.
What you talking about, man? I
You're
ain't
like
got
the
no
living
women
room.
rubbing up on me right now, man. With COVID going on, it ain't cuddle up season for the big dudes right now. It's cold, but nobody want to catch it, and I ain't trying to catch it.
It's called the COVID cuddle. Come on, let's
No, I
do
ain't.
it.
No, not with these nasty bros out here. Oh wait, that's
Sounds like something you do at the club.
The COVID cuddle. It's a dance.
the
It's a
COVID
dirty
cuddle.
dance.
I'm done. All right, so I think we come to a consensus, boys. You got anything to say before we finish this out?
Dead Man Wonderland? Oh, okay.
No,
I already
Como,
killed
we
that one.
said.
I already killed
Como,
that
we
one.
understand. We understand. Dead Man Wonderland.
I mean, actually, I'm kind of leaning High School of the Dead too now. I'm like, what's up?
No, man, if they continue High School with the Dead, you know I'm in there. I'm in there like
No,
bouncing.
I think we're good.
I'm in there like bouncing boobies and swimwear.
You can't go wrong with it. Especially killing zombies.
For sure, man. So, all right. So, but yeah, guys, for all those who've watched or all those who are going to watch in the future, this is been an episode of Binge or Cringe. I call this one Unfinished Business.
That's the perfect title.
The Unfinished Business episode, which like Japan, anime studios in Japan, get y'all ish together. Okay? There's so many things y'all could have finished. Get it together. Man, disappointing the whole.
Dang, dude.
Hmm?
Dang.
Yeah.
Hey, he's calling them out now.
Yeah. I'll see you guys Crunchyroll and whatever other anime streaming service.
No, Netflix, you better be listening, dog. These are moneymakers for you. Get in there, get the rights.
And the thing is, Netflix know better. High School of the Dead was on Netflix.
Yeah.
They know.
Huh?
But all right. I think we can all agree of what we chose is some good choices. We had a lot of good honorable mentions. We hit a lot of different points. I think this was a really good episode, boys. I had fun.
Definitely.
It was good.
So before we get anything else to say before we get out of here?
I do have one honorable mention no one thought of.
No.
Hold on, no, I'm just gonna drop it. Made in the Abyss.
Oh, okay.
You're not like, yeah, you're right. Okay.
Anybody else?
Yeah.
All right, cool. Well, without further ado, as always, we have my panel, my boys joining us tonight. You can follow them and catch them on their different websites and different streaming services and yada yada yada. Just before this, actually, Jiraiya, he was opening some Pokemon cards on his YouTube page, and my man came out with a ditto, of some other class.
Shiny ditto.
That thing was otherworldly.
It's so blue.
And I also just, in between him and Risky, I decided to see who has the high. Put my Pokemon cards up for a bid. See who come out with on top.
Tree Fitty.
Wait, what?
Tree Fitty.
Wait, is that $350 or $3.50?
$3.50.
No. You gotta ask those questions.
Oh, them's fighting words right there. Just saying.
And then at that rate, Risky might get the cards before you do, right? I got some good ones in there too. But all right, but definitely a good show. Glad I can be here with you boys. But without further ado, I'm your boy Ideal Tone, and I just made that known. Later.